Hi there folks, it's Deni. Do you know what day it is today? It's time to show you something really cool that you can try right now. And no, I'm not talking about like new games that aren't even out yet, and not even about RPGs or some crazy stuff. No, today I'm going to show you games that you can try to liven up your evening and enjoy a cool atmosphere and a good story. Well, let's get started. But first, I want you guys to hit the like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Okay, let's get started. Well, today we're going to start with BattleBit Remastered. It's a multiplayer, first-person shooter with low polygon graphics, but it supports up to 254 players on a single server. That means you'll be playing large-scale, exciting battles on huge maps with vehicles, and of course, endless wall-to-wall shootouts. And one more thing, almost everything on the map can be destroyed. Yes, it's something like Battlefield, but with less cool graphics, no bugs, and, well, much cheaper. But anyway, there are 4 classes you can try here: Stormtrooper, Engineer, Medic, and Sniper. Also, there are several game modes here: Capture the Points, Base Defense, Assassination Game, and others. You can use different vehicles in each mode like tanks, armored personnel carriers, helicopters, airplanes, and even boats. And guess what? The players really liked this game, despite the graphics and stuff. Maybe everyone just missed large-scale quality shooters. However, if good graphics are essential for you, you should try Aliens: Dark Descent. It's a single-player real-time strategy game with tactical RPG elements. Well, it is based on the Alien movies and gives you the chance to lead a squad of soldiers and stop a new kind of xenomorph infestation on the planet Leda. The story begins with your squad receiving a distress call from one of the Weyland-Yutani Corporation colonies on the planet Leda. When you arrive, you discover that the colony has been completely overrun by xenomorphs, creepy creatures that, well, literally hatch out of humans, and they can also adapt to any environment. And now your task is to find out what the hell happened here, save the survivors, and of course, destroy these creatures. As for the gameplay, it's kind of a mix of tactical action and resource management simulator. You can choose a mission of interest to you on the global map and send your squad there together. You can also improve your base, explore new technologies, and upgrade your soldiers. Simply put, if you've always wanted to try your hand at being a real field commander, go for it! If you are one of those who likes to fight literally with crowds of enemies, then you should definitely try Spirit Hunter's Infinite Horde. This is an action role-playing game. Here you will take on the role of a Spirit Hunter and fight with endless hordes of monsters using your abilities. Your task is to last as long as possible here, along with collecting the souls of defeated enemies to increase your power and unlock new characters, abilities, cards, and more. You'll be able to do all of this using an advanced progression system. There are 9 areas in the game, each with their own with unique monsters and landscape that change randomly each time you start the game. And of course, at the end there is a boss waiting for you, a powerful monster with some unique abilities. Moreover, there is like a pet system here. They can help you in battle or just like give you some kind of passive perks. There are a total of 20 pets in the game. You can get them as you play. You know, this game is very similar to Vampire Survivors, but still, it has its own features, and I think you'll be hooked by them. If you're itching for fists, then you're in for Street Fighter 6. This game is literally the perfect fighting game with a huge amount of content, different modes, interesting characters, and beautiful graphics. There is the so-called World Tour, a unique mode where you create your own character and travel to different countries to find your opponents. In this mode, you can customize your character's appearance literally down to the smallest detail. Choose its fighting style, clothes, accessories, and special techniques. Moreover, the combat mechanics here have not changed too much since the previous games. This means that you will once again have everything that makes the Street Fighter series of games so great available to you. I mean, a variety of fighting styles, combinations of attacks depending on your character, special strikes, ultras, and much more. Mechabellum, and if you're a bit, well, lazy, I've got a Mechabellum auto-battler for you. Well, the plot here is pretty simple. You survive a crash on a spaceship that was sent to colonize a planet. Once you find yourself on the planet, you discover that it's not deserted at all. It's inhabited by a variety of life forms, including alien life. And yes, They're not very happy to see humans here. So your task here is, like, to survive in this rough world. Gather your mecha army from spaceship wrecks and other scrap metal and fight with other survivors for control of this planet. The gameplay here consists of, like, a preparation phase and a combat phase. In the preparation phase, you choose your units, improve their characteristics and abilities in the research center, and place them on the battlefield based on your strategy. Basically, that's it. And in the combat phase, you can no longer affect the course of events. You just sort of watch your units fight with enemy units. If you like that kind of gameplay, why not? Farlight 84. Next up, we have Farlight 84, a battle royale game that lets you immerse yourself in a post-apocalyptic atmosphere. There are several game modes here, but the main one is a team-based battle royal on a large map. There's a lot of stuff in this game that has been, well, taken from Fortnite, Apex Legends, and PUBG, but that doesn't mean it's just a copy of those games or anything. Quite the opposite, Farlight 84 has its own unique features that make it interesting and relevant, and one of those features is the characters. There are over a dozen characters, each with their own abilities and other cool stuff. Your character selection affects your playstyle and team strategy, and the right combination of abilities can turn the tide of battle in your favor at any moment. Another thing is jetpacks. Each character has a jetpack on his back that allows him to make high jumps in any direction, which makes the gameplay even more dynamic. And then, of course, there are the vehicles. There are motorcycles, jeeps, helicopters, and even mechs, like whatever you want. Simply put, this is a great game for battle royale and shooter games fans. You can pass an evening alone in the open-world role-playing game Wartales. Here, you lead a group of mercenaries on a treasure hunt in a vast medieval universe. This game is similar to Mount & Blade with its turn-based battles, but there's a much better improvement, crafting, and camping system here. Oh, and one more thing. In this game, you won't be like a hero who wants to bring peace and justice. Your goal is just to, like, survive and get rich in this cruel world at any cost. Here, you can freely move around the huge world map, find all sorts of interesting places, make contracts, trade, steal, explore ancient tombs, or just, well, travel the world. Your group consists of several characters, whom you can hire in taverns or find during your adventures. Each character here has a different specialization, skill set, weapon preference, and personality. You can also develop your camp with various luxuries, tools, and equipment that will help your team endure the hardships of life and just relax. Rest is important. Remember that. Next up, we have The Great War Western Front. This is a real-time strategy game created by Petroglyph Studio, which you may know by Command & Conquer Remastered and Star Wars Empire at War. But anyway, in this game you can experience the atmosphere of the First World War and take part in the battles on the Western Front from 1914 to 1919. The plot of the game is based on real historical events and allows you to relive key moments of the war, such as the Battle of the Marne, the gas attack at Ypres, the Battle of Verdun, and others. The thing is that you will not only control your units on the battlefield, but also make strategic decisions, allocate resources, conduct research, and build fortifications. Well, there are quite a lot of troops, like infantry, cavalry, artillery. So yes, you will have to think a lot here. By the way, here you can not only reproduce the history, but also change it. You can affect the course of the war, and even get an alternative result depending on your actions and decisions. So everything is up to you. It's up. Undisputed. Next up, we have Undisputed, another thingy for fighting game fans, created with love by experienced boxing fans in collaboration with the professional boxing community. The developers have taken great care to make Undisputed look and feel like a real boxing game. And guess what? They did a great job! Here you can enjoy realistic graphics, great animations, and a really huge number of licensed boxers. Undisputed gives you limitless control over literally every inch of the ring, and has a great fighting system. There are over 60 different types of punches in the game. You will also be able to use feints to catch your opponent and counterattack. In general, you can do literally anything. You can play alone or online and compete with other players around the world. Isn't that cool? If you want to experience being a superhero, you can try Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. Here you will meet a new Spider-Man, Miles Morales, who became Peter Parker's successor and is trying to master his unique abilities and start fighting crime in New York. The game's plot continues the story of Marvel's Spider-Man, and the gameplay is very similar to the previous game, but has some new stuff. You'll be able to freely move around the open world using your web devices and acrobatic stunts, kicking asses of all sorts of villains, completing quests and missions, as well as gathering collectibles and unlocking new costumes and upgrades. What's more, Miles has a few unique abilities that set him apart from Peter. For example, he can incapacitate his enemies with electricity, become invisible, and use all sorts of technological gadgets that Peter couldn't even dream of. Sounds pretty interesting, doesn't it? What about some retro shooter? Cause I've got Cultic for you. Here you have to fight a mysterious cult that has taken over a small town. You are a detective who decided to find out what the hell is going on here. But unfortunately, you are caught in a cultist trap, and now you have to get out of it at any cost. The graphics here are pixel, but with very good lighting, shadows, and physics. Sound design here is also on top. All the shots, explosions, screams, and music create an atmosphere of tension and madness, which you will definitely like. The storyline here is not really complicated, like you just have to kill all the cultists on your way and get to the cult leader, but as the game goes on, you will find notes, newspapers, and other documents that will reveal to you more details about the cult, its goals and methods. The combat here is pretty fast and brutal, but if you like that sort of thing, why not? Like, a couple of hits are enough to kill an enemy or be killed, so you'll need to always move, dodge, hide behind cover, and use the environment to your advantage. Like blowing up barrels, throwing objects, using traps, and even manipulating your enemy's behavior. Next up, we have Trail Out, and it's literally a festival of explosive races in different parts of the world. Your main goal here is to, well, make it to the finish line and get the main festival trophy. You play as Mechabellum, an aspiring racer who decides to take part in the festival and emerge victorious. But to do this, you will first need to fight with bosses. Each boss here has its own riding style, its own car, and its own arena where you will fight them. First, you race in his arena, and then you go on to derbies full of danger. In the races, well, you have to arrive at the finish line first, or at least among the first, while avoiding collisions with other cars and all sorts of obstacles on the track. In derby, you have to destroy as many opponents' cars as possible, or be the last one to survive in the arena. You can use nitro to accelerate and perform some stunts to get extra points in both modes. Moreover, there are about 40 cars of different classes, eras, and states in the game. And you can purchase any of them with the money you earn, or just unlock them for completing missions. Farthest Frontier. If you want to build a bit, you should try Farthest Frontier. It is a city building simulator with survival elements in the harsh Middle Ages. You will take control of a group of settlers who decided to establish their city on the edge of the world. You will have to take care of their needs, provide them with food, water, clothing, and all that, as well as protect them from external threats, like raiders, beasts, or like common diseases. And you know what? This game will definitely impress you with its realism and challenging nature. Here you don't just build houses and farms, you have to take into account a lot of factors like seasons, weather, crop rotation, production chains, trade, and much more. Every decision you make will have consequences for your settlement and the well-being of the inhabitants. Yet it is up to you to choose how to develop your city and whether you want to pursue economic prosperity, cultural diversity, or military power. Well, it's time to show you horror games too. Welcome to the Mourtuary Assistant. This game tells you about a young girl, Rebecca, who works as a morgue assistant. Her job is to embalm the dead bodies and keep the morgue clean and tidy. But everything changes when one night she gets a call from her boss who asks her to come to work and, well, take care of some dead bodies. Then it turns out that Rebecca has been cursed, and now she has to fight some demonic powers that wish to get her soul. So it's up to you to perform the routine tasks of embalming bodies, practicing occult rituals to identify demonic entities, and gathering clues to exorcise the demon and save her soul. You will learn the dark past of the Riverfields town and the dark secret that lies within the walls of the morgue. Well, the last thing I will show you today is Dungeons of Sundaria. This is a sort of dungeon crawler kind of game. This means that here you will explore huge dungeons, fight monsters and bosses, collect lots of loot, and improve your character. You can choose one of 5 classes, and you can also choose one of 5 races. The race affects your characteristics and some gameplay features, and each class has its own combat style, skill set, and abilities. One of the main advantages of the game is its loot system. The game has a huge variety of different weapons, armor, accessories, and other items that you can find or buy. You can combine different items to create a unique fighting style and appearance of your character. The game has 3 difficulty levels: Standard, Hard, and Nightmare, and the higher the difficulty, the stronger and more dangerous the enemies, but also the better the reward you get for killing them. By the way, here you can play both alone and with friends online or in split screen mode. Well, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and found something interesting. And if so, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It's been Deni. See you guys soon.